Hot sizzle. Ooh, you knew it was coming. Today's feature is a guy that needs literally no introduction to the 90s babies. A guy that may not have been the best pure basketball player of the collective, but when and1 needed a star to rival what the NBA had at the time in the Marburys, Steve Francis's, and Allen Iversons of the world, he stepped right into the role and became the face of the sport of street ball. Alamo may have been the heart and soul, Ao may have had the most game and the best shot at it, but Sauce was just that man. He just made everything taste a little better. Had these three things not happened, who knows what he could have brought to the game. I know one thing, it would have been spicy. Philip Champion, born June 13th, 1976. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Get him. Champion was born in Jacksonville, Florida, and by his own admittance, grew up working on his dribbling skills 24 hours a day. No time for books and school when you're trying to be the best, right? Although I don't agree with the action, I gotta admire the dedication and drive to perfect what he knew he was good at. Stunt number 1, I love spice, just not the one you got. Who loves fried chicken? If you do, you know the worst thing about going to a fried chicken joint is them having hot sauce you don't rock with. Tabasco or Tapico or something. Gets the juices flowing, but it ain't that Louisiana or that Texas Pete. Champion had game, but just not for the league. Nothing about his game led you to believe he could or even wanted to play in the NBA. He wasn't very fast, had a slow set shot that he rarely took, didn't even think about passing it, and was really small, man. Like Iverson was tiny, but at least he was in tip-top conditioning, which adds its own strength to you. Sauce looked like he never lifted or ran a mile in his life. Not to mention, he was like 5'9", if that. Luckily for him, none of these things really mattered in the game he was about to be a star in. Actually, not much mattered in that game. A come as you are, leave when your time is up kind of situation. A league where you don't need any form of education or organized ball, no drug tests, no weight limits or discrepancies, nothing. Oh, and you could literally hold the ball as long as you wanted, traveled as much as you needed to get the move off, and perfect that one skill that you're best at. If you're a jumper, do that. Slash and wait for a guard to put it on the rim for you. If you have a charismatic handle, stick to that and perfect that skill. During the game, that's all you do. And when you've pulled off the perfect move, just toss the ball as far as you can. It don't even matter. Did you get the oohs and ahs? Cool. Good shit, my G. Sauce had the spice, just not an NBA type of talent, and I think he was cool with that. Stunt number 2, taking care of a good thing. A lot of times when you give a person something they weren't ready for, there's a great chance they mess things up. And1 was one of the best basketball ideas ever. Although it was short-lived, we can't front on how much and1 entertained the people. These were street guys that were rejected from every other opportunity because they lacked more than just one skill. You take them off the streets and give them this newfound fame and a way to take care of their families, and you create a volcano of ego that will erupt in due time. This is literally what happened to every single and1 player at some point, and it led to the demise of the sport. If you watched the episodes in the early 2000s, you'd see guys fighting and bickering all the time. It made for good dramatic pieces of TV and was pretty much encouraged for that simple fact, but it was slowly creating these players that were becoming bigger than the man next to him. That's never a good thought to enter your mind, and I think that was the reason everything came crashing down. The league was also very disorganized, coaches being just a loudmouth off the street that didn't know how to lead professional guys that make more and are more important than them. This would lead to competition off the court that just wasn't lasting for the brand. This affected Sauce too. Although he was a quiet guy, he was internally building an ego of his own. He knew he was a one of one. He knew he was the Allen Iverson of the band. He knew most people came to see him. I remember him coming to my city and everyone was talking about hot sauce. They gave him a king's entrance and was on seat's edge for any move he would do. After the game, dozens of women lined his hotel, waiting their turn to go up and see him. I mean, girls from the turf you never saw or thought were like that. And you see them in a tight dress, waiting in the hotel lobby. That's when I knew how much ego the guys, and especially Sauce, had. But that would all change. and1 just couldn't provide for all the mouths waiting to be fed. Attitudes growing bigger than the budget, and one important thing: age. Stunt number 3, spice only lasts for so long. After you wash the hot sauce drenched wings down, drink some milk, water, or beer of your choice, you realize that while it was good, it's not burning anymore. You're cool. That's the thing about a dressing like hot sauce. It's good only while it's lasting, and that's not a long time. The same would happen to the actual hot sauce and the street ball sport as we knew it as well. By 2006, he played a big role in the movie Crossover, which depicted Champion as the rival to a guy setting up wagers on basketball games. By 2009, he would leave the N1 mixtape tour and sign with an ABA team in attempts to keep his career going. N1 died out and the sauce just wasn't spicy anymore. The taste for that authentic grassroots new thing bubbled, and everyone kind of passed or faded away. Champion would go on to perform on stages here and there and was a star and legend in his own right. He was unique in that he never seemed to care about making it to the league or college. He just wanted to be a star either way he could, and a star he definitely was. He's affected the game in a huge way, and his name will also live on past his life. He's currently making his rounds across the country speaking to children about the game of basketball, training them, and just being a great mentor to the youth, which is always commendable. Street ball may be dead or dying out, but Champion can always say, at some point, I had the sauce everyone wanted. In his world, that's the Hall of Fame. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. I'm out.